Have you ever really stopped and wondered how cybercriminals actually pull it off? We hear about these massive data breaches all the time, but the how part, it usually feels like some kind of dark magic. Well, today we're going to pull back that curtain and show you exactly what's going on in the attacker's world. See, the thing is, it's not magic at all. It's a process. From the second they pick a target to the moment they steal the data, they follow a very clear, very methodical playbook. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to walk through that exact playbook step by step. So let's kick things off with the biggest question of all. Who are they really after? Well, the answer might actually surprise you because it all starts with you. I hear this all the time. I'm not a target. I'm just a regular person. I don't have anything a hacker would want. It's probably one of the biggest myths in all of cybersecurity. And, well, in the eyes of an attacker, it's just completely wrong. Here's why that mindset is so off. You have to reframe how you think about it. Attackers, they're not always after you, personally. They're after your data. And to them, data is straight-up currency. Your info can be used for identity theft or as a stepping stone to get into your company's network. Your data has value, and that right there makes you a valuable target. All right, so if we're all potential targets, how do they decide when and how to strike? How do they even begin to set the track? Well, like any good plan, it all starts with a little bit of homework. Long before an attacker ever sends you a sketchy email, they're doing reconnaissance on you. They're using what's called open source intelligence, or OSINT, which is really just a fancy way of saying they're looking at all the publicly available info about you on Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, you name it. They're building a profile, looking for your job, who you work with, what you're interested in, anything to make their eventual attack seem more legitimate. And all of that research leads them to their single most powerful weapon, social engineering. This isn't about hacking code. Not really. It's about hacking people. It's about exploiting our basic human psychology. They create a sense of urgency. Hey, your account's been locked. You got to click here right now. Or they plant our curiosity. Whoa, check out this crazy picture of you. By doing that, they bypass all the technical stuff and get you, the human, to let them in. Now, the number one delivery system for social engineering is, you guessed it, phishing. And it is shockingly effective. In fact, phishing is the starting point for something like 80% of all reported security incidents. The goal is simple. Create a fake out that's so convincing you willingly hand over the keys to your entire digital life. But listen, phishing has come a long way from those generic spam emails we all used to get. Nowadays, you've got to watch out for spear phishing, which is a custom-made attack using details they found out about you. If you're a big shot at your company, they might try whaling, going after high-profile execs. And the attack might not even come through email. Vishing uses phone calls. And smishing? Well, that's just phishing through a text message. Okay, so let's imagine the trap works. You click the link. The attacker is in. What happens next? This is where their playbook gets really, really precise. Once they're inside, attackers follow a series of steps that the pros call the kill chain. It's basically their roadmap from that first tiny foothold all the way to their final goal. It starts with initial access, right? But they don't just stop there. From there, it's all about escalating privileges, moving laterally across the network, and then establishing persistence so they can stick around, all before they get to the grand prize, exfiltrating the data. So the very first thing they want to do is escalate their privileges. Okay, think of it like this. A thief sneaks into a giant apartment building through an unlocked window. That only gets them into one single apartment. Privilege escalation is like them finding the building's superintendent's master key. Suddenly, every single door in the building is open to them. And now that they have that master key, they start moving laterally. They quietly jump from your computer to your coworker's computer on the network, and then to another one. They're just exploring, totally silent, looking for the server room, the place where all the really good stuff is stored. One little breach on one machine can turn into the whole network being compromised. And here's the really creepy part. They don't want to be a one-time visitor. Oh no. They establish persistence. They plant these hidden little backdoors in the system so that they can come and go whenever they want, staying totally undetected for weeks, months, sometimes even longer, all while they're just quietly siphoning off data. So that's the playbook. It's methodical, it's scary, and it's effective. But now for the most important part. How in the world do you fight back? Well, it's not about finding one single solution. It's about building a fortress with layers. First things first, we've got to bust some of these common myths. No, your antivirus is not a magic shield, it's just one of your layers. And that old idea that Macs can't get viruses, that's just dangerously out of date. And as we already talked about, yes, everyone is a target. Just accepting these realities is the very first step toward a much stronger defense. Honestly, your best defense starts with really simple daily habits. Think of it like cybersecurity's version of brushing your teeth. I'm talking about using a password manager so you have strong, unique passwords everywhere, keeping your software updated, and just being a little paranoid about what you click on. But the big one, the most important one, is enabling multi-factor authentication everywhere you possibly can. Seriously, MFA is one of the biggest roadblocks you can throw in an attacker's path. And hey, if you want to level up a bit, you can add even more layers to your fortress. A VPN, for example, basically creates a private encrypted tunnel for your internet traffic, which is awesome for when you're on public Wi-Fi. You can use secure DNS services that acts like a bouncer for the internet, blocking malicious sites before you even get to them. And sandboxing, that's like opening a suspicious file in a totally sealed-off room, so if it's bad, it can't infect the rest of your computer. But after all the technology, after all the fancy tools, we always come back to the single most critical component in this entire equation: 90%. Just let that number sink in for a second. According to security experts, simple user awareness and vigilance, just paying attention, can reduce the risk of a successful cyber attack by up to 90%. That number is absolutely astounding. And you know what it means? It means the power is right back in your hands. Because at the end of the day, this is the core idea. You can't just go to a store and buy a box labeled security. It doesn't work that way. It's a mindset, it's a process, it's a whole series of small, conscious decisions that you make every single day. Security is a habit that you build over time. And just remember this, all that technology, the firewalls, the antivirus software, those are your tools. But that's all they are, they're tools. You're the one sitting at the controls. You are the defender. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one simple question. Now that you've seen the attacker's playbook and you know how to build your own defense, what's the one small habit you're going to change, starting today, to make yourself a much harder target?